Great resignation continues, and people are wanting to work from home even more than ever. We're going to talk about it today. Mike's going to introduce the story on today's Not So Critical update.
Fortune reports 77% of hiring managers say that they would fire you or cut your pay if you refuse to come back to the office. Why? John, why do employers insist on being dicks?
Can
we just do our jobs and be left alone?
Why are you such 77% is funny? Like, did they just go up to like 6 managers at Google and Facebook, and they're like, how do you feel about this? And they're like, yeah, no, like, no. And like one of them was like, I don't give a shit. But like the 6 other ones were like, yeah, no, we're firing them, or like they're getting a pay cut, which they already did, by the way. Like when COVID started, they're like, if you leave the Bay Area or Seattle or New York, we're going to cut your pay.
Yeah.
What, are you going to cut their pay again? Like, they're just going to go to a company that doesn't give a shit where their employees are, which is totally what small to medium-sized businesses, especially in tech, are now doing, because they're not tied to these massive campuses that they've paid hundreds of millions of dollars for, or are on the line to keep paying for. No, it's absurd. It's so ridiculous.
Just having to go back into an office is a pay cut. You've got now commute time, you've got gas time,
lunch.
You're spending more
in your car, or if you're taking a bus, like you're gonna have to pay for the public transport. You're gonna have to pay for that.
It's on the face of it, it's so dumb. It's all about control and needing control. It's just wanting to feel like they have their power still, and it's pointless because productivity is still the same or higher in most cases.
But even if it's lower, and I had this argument on Reddit with a manager that I was like, you should not be a manager. Like right off the bat, I was like, you are everything that's wrong with the American corporate system to a point, like, or not to a point, like finally, like, or just a hard cut. You shouldn't be a boss. And basically what their argument was that one of their employees, their KPIs was lower than others when they were working from home. So they forced that one employee to go into the office.
Jeez.
And you're singling out this employee, right? So like now you're feeling less than or worth less than your colleagues. Also, you're not making their jobs funner or easier or more comfortable. Yeah, sure, their output might be 10% more, but like at what cost? The cost is going to be that they're going to leave. That's the cost. And
it's a false economy.
What'd you say?
A false economy.
Yeah. So my argument was, even if an employee is producing at 80% instead of 100 when they're working from home, but they're happier, right? Their happy percentage, their comfort percentage is at 100% instead of 50%. Of course, that's the employee you want. That's the person that's going to stay at the company for 5 years. That's the person that's going to be way more committed to you. As an employer, you shouldn't care like, oh, who's the most efficient? How can I save an extra $1? You should be looking at the long term. How comfortable are my employees? How stagnant are they willing to be? Which is a really fucked up thing, because as people, we should support excelling and moving forward and upward. But also at the same time, if you want an employee that's going to stay with the company for a decade, that's what you do. You make them comfortable, make them content. That's So
definitely
bullshit.
There's definitely the control factor, which a lot of times I think masks weak leadership. You feel like if I can see people and I know they're here, then I know they're working. But if they're at home, I don't know what they're doing, then I'm afraid. From a business, there should be a strategic advantage in having your remote workforce, because you don't have to have office space. But if you have office space that you're already paying for, whether they work from home or not, then there's definitely an incentive there to get them back in the office, because you want to feel like this giant building you're paying for is actually being used.
I mean, I get it, but it still doesn't make sense. I mean, it's not like you're paying any extra if they're working on them, are you? It's just
actually, you're probably paying less. Because if we look at electricity costs or cleaning costs, depending on how it's set up, electricity specifically, if you have 100 employees and 50 of them all of a sudden stop going to work, the microwave is going to be used less. The water bill is going to go down. I'm not kidding. Like, these are, like the computer at their desk will be used less, and you're not paying that employee for their electricity bill at home. They're paying for that because they want to be at home. Of course, I've been working remote for 3.5 years. My company isn't paying for my electricity or water or food or whatever. Nothing's really changed. Only thing is that I work at my desk.
This is one thing I've always wondered, right? When I used to bounce around a lot and I used to move countries, one of the things I was asked about was relocation expenses. So I'd get hired before I moved to a country, and then they would pay for me to move over because they wanted me, or whatever. And I always what?
Well, go on. I think I know your point, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh no! Well, my point was going to be occasionally they would pay for a short-term flat or something. Like while I was looking for a property of my own, they would pay for a week in a hotel or whatever. And I always wondered why you couldn't get your company to pay your rent and then take it out of your salary before you got taxed. And the company could easily pay for it. It could be a business expense. And you would end up paying less tax because your overall income would be less, but you'd be getting the same value. So one, you could split the difference and the company could save some money and the employee would save some money. That was always my thinking. And I could never convince any company to do it for me.
That was not the point I thought you were going to make. I thought your point was, why don't they save that money and let me work from home?
Yeah. Sorry, save the money what?
Oh, I thought your point was, why not save all that relocation money and just let you work from where you are?
Oh, well, at the time, I never even thought about remote working. It didn't cross my mind until I tried to run a startup myself, and I was working at home.
You tried to run a startup?
I did run a startup. I started a company with some friends for 4.5 years in Prague.
Did it take off?
In some ways, yes and no. It survived for a while. We ended up with about 10 or 11 people in the company. And
you were going to say 10 or 11 users?
It was cool. It was one of the biggest English language portals in Prague, in the Czech Republic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but that's a long story. Anyway, yes, I didn't even think about remote working until much later on.
So let's talk about overemployment for a second.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
And I think John's nervous about this because we're letting the cat out of the bag.
Well, it's such a well-kept secret. Overemployment is like, it's like we're shooting all of these people right in the foot by talking about it. Even.
By letting it out.
I think it's such a taboo concept. First off,
so what is it? First of all, for the people not familiar, what is overemployment?
Right. So, what is overemployed or overemployment? Overemployed is the idea that you could work multiple jobs at the same time. And when I say at the same time, I don't mean something like I waiter on the weekends.
Keyboards and you just like I'm on this app. It's called Blind. It's a really fun app where people talk about it's a tech worker app only. And the way you get onto it, you have to sign up with your work email. So you have to you can't sign up with like a Gmail or a Proton Mail or a Yahoo or whatever. So someone mentioned overemployed on there, and they're like, there's a Discord community. Here's the invite link. So obviously a bunch of people joined, new people that aren't overemployed. And I was one of those people. Now I can't even invite people to the server. Invites are disabled for users. That's how exclusive it is. You are so cool, John.
That's not the point. The point is that I get to, of course I'm cool. The point is that I get to like kind of spy on this fairly well hidden community, while sure, they do have a subreddit. Like we saw with 30,000 members, it's not that many. You go look on our Wall Street Bets or PC gaming or any of those big ones, like they're in the millions. These guys haven't broken 100K. These guys haven't broken a 50K even.
So
wait, let me wrap it up.
Okay, yeah, go.
I was just gonna to wrap it up. I'm not part of the community. I'm only there as a voyager, I guess is the word. I'm just watching. And these people work the same jobs simultaneously from home. Some I've seen, they've shown pictures, have 7 jobs at the same time.
Yeah.
Full-time positions. Most are tech workers. And they work from home. They work, I'll tell you, they work from home. They have like 2 massive desks next to each other with company MacBook, one after the other. And they're doing this and succeeding because what we perceive as productivity is all, I'm pretty sure, just wrong. Yeah. You could output 10 hours, 15, 20 hours a week and be a high yield worker.
So the idea is I have a job, but the things that I need to do don't take me 8 hours a day. Maybe they take me 2 hours a day or an hour a day.
Exactly.
So I do my job. I do everything I need to do in an hour or 2 hours. And then I just get another job where I do the same thing. And now maybe I have to work 2 to 4 hours a day. And then I do it a third time.
Exactly.
I fucking love this, by the way. I absolutely fucking love it. Because
now,
to me, they are providing exactly the same amount of value to the company. The company said, right, I need someone to do this thing, and I will pay them $10. And that person does it in 5 minutes. They could do it in 5 hours. It doesn't matter when they do it, how they do it. They're doing it, and the company gets the money worth. Both sides are happy. And if that person could then go and have another job or another 3 jobs, great. Everybody wins.
Now, to be the devil's advocate, a company offers you a contract, an agreement between you, the employee, and the company itself, the employer, that states that you are to commit this many hours a week to us. If you sit on your hands for 30 of those 40 hours, fine. But those hours are ours.
Okay. Now, I think that's bullshit because...
wait. That's the agreement. Of course it's bullshit. No, but you are breaching the contract that you've signed, because all of them will have this in the contract. You are committing exclusive hours between, core hours 8 to 5 every day to us.
They don't pay overtime though. I bet you that most of them.
No, of course not. It's non-exempt.
Salaried employees,
it's an exempt from overtime position.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't pay overtime. So therefore, they shouldn't care if you don't pay that much. If you don't work that much. And it's bullshit because it's not like the employee has any kind of power to change that contract. They can't say, oh, no, I'm just going to change that to 20 hours and everything else will stay the same. It doesn't make any difference.
No, so what some of them do is that they say, hey, they sneak it in. They're basically a little bit less dishonest. And what they say is, hey, I do contract work. So can you remove that clause? Done. Fixed. They can now be employed at 2 places at the same time. As soon as that clause is removed, it doesn't actually matter. They can do whatever they want.
This obviously doesn't work if you are a lifeguard. You have to be there for your shift doing that job, whether you save 0 people or 10 people. It doesn't work if you're a server at a restaurant. It probably doesn't work if you're sitting on a help desk answering tickets, because you have to be there doing this thing. But if you're a project worker, and you can, write a software application in 90 minutes where they believe it's supposed to take you 40 hours, then you can totally get away with this. And I think it's not illegal. You might get fired.
No,
but it's not illegal.
It's fuzzy. You will get blacklisted by both companies if this comes out. Obviously.
I'm curious about this whole blacklisting thing because I've done a lot of hiring and I've never seen a blacklist.
Well, what I mean is, what I mean by that is, if I'm company A and company B reaches out to me and they say, hey, does this person work for you? Because they work for us too.
Yeah. Okay.
As company A, I'm going to be like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm going to talk to the person, and then they're going to be like, yeah, I work for both companies. You caught me. I will now blacklist them from ever working with me again.
You know, there's another thing about this whole thing. I know Mike is itching to talk about this, but another thing about it is if you, as an employer, if I found out that one of my employees was working another job, and it was a complete surprise to me because I thought he was doing really, really well and working really hard, and I was really pleased with the amount of output, I would be like, well, I just don't get it. Like, why would you then fire this person who you would thought is productive up until the point you found out they were doing something else?
Well, a lot of employers would feel like the loyalty has been broken.
Yeah.
Oh, loyalty. Oh.
Well, so here, this I think goes to the answer. And I really, if you were an employer who did that, I'm not sure you'd be running a great business, right? A successful business, right? Because you're overpaying for the service in this context. So I've this chart's been around for a long time, and basically what it shows is up until the late 70s, early 80s, employee productivity and compensation tracked. Something happened in around that time. It had to do with the decline of labor unions, labor laws. At the same time as when the income wage wealth disparity gap started exploding, CEO pay started exploding at the same time. But from then until now, productivity has outpaced compensation increases by more than 4 to 1. So when I look at overemployment, and basically this goes to your point, Peter, is what happened is we're for the same amount of money doing 4 times as much work.
Right.
So as an employer, I could say, well, you're doing the 100%, but you're not doing the 400%. Therefore, I'm going to let you go. The employees are saying, well, I'm only getting paid for 20% of what I'm doing. So I'm only going to do 20% of my job.
Right.
And I think that's what balances this all out. I think this makes perfect sense from the employee standpoint. It totally goes against the model of employment that we have in the country right now. And it is being led by the workers. So to Jon's point about should we be talking about this or not, it's not, I think, widely known, widely understood by employers. I think they're starting to catch on. We're starting to see articles about it. My prediction is that 2023 will be the year of employee surveillance.
You think what are you willing to put on the line there, Mike?
Nothing. Why would I bet on this? Like, you have a gambling problem, Peter.
Come on, man. Just one more. Listen, this will be the last one. Just a pizza, okay?
That's what every gambling addict says. Yeah, this will be the last one. I swear. Okay, said every addict ever.
I'm serious. Like, just a pizza. I think I'd like a.
We owe you like 3 pizzas, Peter.
You do. I want
you
to
need more.
You haven't doxed me and found my address to send it to me yet, so I'm still waiting, guys. Come on.
Oh, but okay, you know what? You just reminded me.
What?
Today. I will have it today.
I mean, I did already. Let's talk about Mike's prediction. I reckon.
Oh, did you? Are we still doing the show?
Yeah. I reckon you're wrong. And do you know why? I checked.
That I'm wrong? You think I'm incorrect?
I think you're incorrect.
Shocking.
2 things, 2 reasons why. I know. Shocking. 2 reasons why. One is, I realized as we were talking about this, that it's fairly niche. It's only for people who are in the tech industry, who are high performers, who are working from home. So there's a kind of, there is a lot of them.
No, wait. They are not high performers.
Average, but they can.
No. These are master lazy people. They have mastered, but like, we have to respect this. They have mastered the method of not working.
Doing the absolute minimum to get by.
But it's doing the absolute minimum while being perceived as an absolute killer. Raises, bonuses, promotions even.
Well,
I'm saying there's an skill
maybe
involved
at the very least not getting fired.
The art of deception here is on another level.
Okay. Well,
because they're working multiple. Because so in this Discord, there's success stories and there's fail stories, and the success stories are just hilarious. Obviously, the fail stories are really
all
funny
that
too.
Notwithstanding.
Yeah,
Peter's point.
The point is that type of person is not your average Joanna, right? So I think that it kind of it's a fairly niche thing. So I don't think this is going to explode too much. And the second thing is I had a look quickly at the subscriber rate for the overemployed subreddit, and it was a straight line. Joined the May 2021 last year, and it didn't explode, it didn't flatline, it just went boom.
Oh, that's an interesting.
So maybe this stays under the radar, but I think it's a scary enough story for employers that even if it's not wildly like voting fraud, right? There isn't any, whatever, but it's a huge headline. Yeah. Sorry, true. Mikey.
It'll be on.
I told Mikey I try not to make this political. We'll just use that as an example. Whatever. I think.
Sorry, Mikey, not here.
As we see articles and headlines about this, employers aren't going to think, man, that's a really niche problem. I'm sure it's not really affecting many of my employees. They're going to panic and think, oh my gosh, I need to know who's doing this. I'm losing a ton of money to this. They're going to set up the tracking to be really bored by their results, most likely.
Yeah.
Well, the problem here, okay, so here's the biggest issue. You can't track this. You can track user engagement, end user engagement on your device. We're already doing that. That's not anything new. You're not going to be able to see, without my permission at least, who's on my network. Is there another MacBook on my network with a host name X company name MacBook? No.
They're not lying to their employees about who they are, though, right?
What do you mean?
Well, if I work for company A, then I've got to give them my real name.
Yeah, of course.
I give them my real name.
Mm-hmm.
So
there are background checks, privately run background checks for employment records. This is one thing that's becoming more and more apparent by larger companies to not only run your traditional background check, but also a background check on where you're currently working. You can have those frozen, but if you don't and you do this and they run that background check and it's like, oh yeah, he's currently employed at 3 different companies, current, like active. Yeah. So I agree with Mike to an extent. I think the tracking of employees because of the remote shift will only get more widespread. We'll just have to wait and see.